Welcome, everyone. My name is Kenny Ho, and I'm a partner of AEF NextGen Fund. Now, perhaps I can start with a question for all the panelists, because we're all coming from very different regions and all have their own interesting opportunities. If you don't mind, I'll start with Shirley. Let's give our audience a sense of the hottest investment opportunities in AI in the market that you're in.
Well, I think, first of all, I'm a partner of Seoul Capital and focused on early stage investments in tech and AI in China. So from China market's perspective, AI investments are very hot in terms of the infrastructure layer. In the agent layers, we see a lot of these kind of new business models coming up. But I would say that the profit, the PMF companies right now are in chatbot, picture generating, role play, and AI coding, these sectors. Also on the hardware side, AI plus all kinds of hardware, especially the toys, are very, very hot right now. Yeah.
Got it. John, how about you?
Yeah, cool. Nice to meet you all. So my name is John. I'm running the funds called KXVC from Thailand. So from my opinion, what's really exciting about the AI investments is that for application layers, right, we look at any startups that can help leapfrog the industry players, right? Per se, mean that if that specific industry use AI and is future-proof, then it's pretty exciting for me. So for example, like cybersecurities, financial technologies, enterprise SaaS, and also robotics as well. So those are the AI application layers that I'm super excited about. And as for the infrastructure layers, I'm pretty much focusing into the AI edge computing, and also the open source as well for machine learning engineer to come up and join together to come up with the greater models. Not to mention about the data governance as well, and those kind of stuff that can help machine learning engineer coming up with a greater model, cheaper, faster, and more efficient. Yeah. So
Got it.
I think those are the great areas. Yeah. But we're not so exciting about the LM anymore, from my opinions. Yeah.
Got it. No, that's very interesting. Now, Gabit, how about you?
Thank you. Oh my God, my throat is terrible. First of all, great being here. Thank you guys. Thank you for the organizers for organizing this fantastic event. For any investment, how we see it, it consists of the three things. Number one, people. Number two, value. And number three, how that business can scale, right? So today we're talking about the AI, but these three principles, I think, always exists, right? So that's why for any businesses, as long as the people who gather together can concise together, can value the things that they think together, that's the most important. And whatever they're creating has the value. Whatever the value that they're creating, that's the most important. And how that business can scale.
Right.
So
Interesting.
if three things collide together, that's the most important, I think.
Got it. No, just I guess for our audience information, Gabit's from Mongolia.
Yes.
And I'd be interested to know a little more about the AI ecosystem that's currently, I guess, developing in that country. So could you share a little bit more about that with us?
Yes. Absolutely. Thank you very much. So in terms of the ecosystem of AI, again, I'll say the three things, right? So the who's creating the AI ecosystem is number one. How we're seeing is government, businesses, and the education. And in terms of the government-wise, Mongolian ecosystem is at the beginning of taking the pace. So the government is putting all the effort in order to bring all the talent to create the AI.
Yeah.
And number two, but in terms of whenever we say AI, it's not we're spending too much efforts building the models, but we are spending the time more building the application layer.
Got it.
Whenever I say the application layer is more like to be use cases. In terms of the education layer, the kids and whoever is creating those AI ecosystems has to be knowledgeable. So that's why the education-wise, even we invested into education so that that layer is being informed and educated in terms of the new AI, all the applications and the developments as well. In terms of the businesses, they are spending most of the time on the application layer, as I said, so that whether it's the scoring, whether it's the customer support, whether it's the mining, because the Mongolia is heavily based on the mining businesses, so that it's the those areas that they're spending the time.
Developed first. Got it. Very interesting. Thank you for that. Now, the next question I'd like to ask Shirley. Now, both of us used to work at Alibaba Strategic Investments now, and we're now in, it's more focusing on financial, financial return, I guess. Just tell me, in China, how are the big strategic players influencing the investment landscape in AI in China? What kind of areas are you seeing that is particularly promising with the involvement of these big strategic players?
Well, thank you for the question. Just to give you some background, I worked with Alibaba Strategic Investment Team for 5 years, and in 2022 we set up a Seoul Capital and start to see VC investments from financial perspective. And in 2023, we are among the early investors. We are the angel round investors of Baichuan, which is the large language model company in China. And at that time, we start to think about what kind of AI the big players gonna definitely be in, and what kind of market that the startups can have a chance. So I will break that question into several fronts. And first, let's look at the infrastructure. Definitely, big players like Alibaba, like Tencent, they are pushing the AI infrastructure to be fully developed and at full speed. We will see a lot of the new computing centers being built, and Alibaba announced the 300 billion capex, and the Tencent catch on, ByteDance catch on. So that will actually provide a much faster computing and memory, cloud services, etc. It will actually pay very good foundation. From that, we think the startups can have opportunities in some of this infrastructure needs, such as GPUs, optical interconnects, CPOs, etc. And the second, if you look at the large language model, I would definitely advise the startups not to participate in this round because large language model, Alibaba is so strong, Qianwen is so good. Even the latest release can be, I think it's as good or even better than DeepSeek's R1. And luckily, the Baichuan we invested, they focused on healthcare. So they want to be the AI doctor to people. So at day one, when they set up, they are very clear that we're gonna avoid direct competition against Alibaba, against Tencent. So they're definitely not going to see. So we will see. To see large language model will play very strong. In chatbot, a lot of things. I wouldn't put examples. So okay, that's one thing. So third is that we mostly discuss about the application layers. Then I think for Alibaba, Tencent, the big guys, it's more like collaboration with the startups, not direct competition, because there are so many verticals that the big guys will may not have the focus or talents or resources to focus on. So, for example, even in the e-commerce side, there is a lot of small AI tools that startups can actually provide very valuable services to the customers, and also. In the hardware side, I think that's the big players. They are quite lack of. Although we will see people, these Alibaba or Tencent or ByteDance, even Xiaomi start to try to occupy the AI hardware space. For example, the glasses, the speakers, the earphones. They want to be in every possible way that the individuals can access to AI. However, keep in mind that they may not have these genes in hardware. So Alibaba is not good at building hardware. So there is a chance for startups. Hence, there is a chance for the financial investors to back the strong team at early stage. Yeah.
No, that's very interesting. I think you basically painted the whole landscape for us in 3 minutes. So that's very interesting. John, let me get to you because you're also part of a big organization in Thailand. KASIKORN Bank is one of the biggest banks in Thailand. Tell me a little bit about, perhaps from the perspective of a CVC, how is AI being adopted? Perhaps I'll start that, and I have a follow-up question to that as well.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I guess Thailand, Southeast Asia as a whole, I think we consider ourselves as a non-deep tech developers countries where most of the great talents are here in China or in the US or somewhere else, right? So mostly we are kind of more on the consumer side. Honestly, I started my career as a VC 11 years ago. What happened was that at the time when starting the period when the Chinese giant techs like Alibaba and everyone else is coming into the regions, and somehow they find a way to really, set up a headquarters in Singapore, have the operating companies in other countries, having great country managers in other countries, and penetrate so well, right? Now it's Thai users, like Vietnamese users, or Singaporean and Malaysian are using the technology from here. Even the past wave was e-commerce, social media, logistic, right? You have Alibaba, Taobao, Tencent, whatever it is, Chinese as well.
Yeah.
Land in Thailand, so well done, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say here is that and that's somehow encourage Thai AI developers, and not just AI but also the typical startup developers trying to compete with Chinese or the American or Western, but not that easy, honestly. So that's why actually our fun. I kind of witnessed that kind of disruption wave from past 10 years. So I know that, okay, best technology is here in China or in somewhere else. So that's why I decided to come here to, see who's going to be the winner in China or in the US or in Israel and the UK before they come to Thailand.
Got it.
That's my thesis. That's why they let me do this, invest outside of the region purely and find the best one before they want to come to Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's the thesis. Yeah.
Thank you for that. My follow-up question to that is now, if a startup wants to enter Thailand to start the business, right? What kind of resources are available for them to grow a startup? Now, I know you serve on a governmental committee that advises the government on tech-related issues, right? So perhaps you could give us some perspectives through that lens. And
Sure. I think okay, if I were to suggest the Chinese founders or Chinese big tech company, right? So to come, I think they have the great playbooks anyway. If you ask the people in this in this hall in this event, they know best how to get to Thailand anyway. But what I can maybe share from my experience seeing lots of Chinese founders trying to go to Thailand or Southeast Asia as a whole, I would say that if you were to have partners, right? I think it's pretty much the same here in China as where in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, we need to know someone. If you were to find a great partner who help you to open the door, if you are the B2B business, right? If you are the B2C, absolutely you need to know someone's maybe go to the government agencies or work closely with the big corporates to help you penetrate the markets. That would be the best way to do. But I think Thai or like Southeast Asia as a whole, we're kind of familiar with the Chinese technologies already. So if I were to suggest to founders here in China who would love to expand the business over there in AI, I think the best one would be robotics for sure, like precision robotics or human joy is the best here. And I guess it's because Thai industrial, right, and like other countries as well. I think we look at Chinese AI startups, the robotic is the best in the world, right?
Right.
Following by financial technologies as well. I think these two categories would be like the low-hanging fruit for Chinese founder if they were to want to penetrate the markets.
Got it.
Right. We look up at financials a lot, right? It do so well here and also in Southeast Asia as well. So I think these two categories would find a way too easy for them to come to Southeast Asia. But I think the best way to come to the Southeast Asia may be if you were to be able to work with the big companies like Alibaba Group as well. That's going to open the doors a lot for you. Yeah. Yeah, that's my suggestion.
Got it.
for
No,
the
thank you
founder.
very much. And Gabit, would you mind sharing your views on perhaps from a more strategic perspective, what are the types of opportunities for perhaps startups from China and Hong Kong to participate in the Mongolian AI ecosystem?
Absolutely. No, that's a great, fantastic question. So how we see the view of investment in terms of the Mongolian companies. Those three elements, right? So the people, value, and the scalability. How we see in terms of the Mongolian companies or any other companies coming into Mongolia, Mongolian scene is number one. Mongolia, in terms of the land, is a huge country. It's a huge country. But in terms of the population-wise, it's only 3.7 million people. So it's the people-wise, it's small. But you should never stop saying, oh, we're small. In terms of the market-wise, we're small and we should never do anything. How we see the value is you have to create the value internally as a sandbox. You have to see that country as a sandbox. And you should expand to the near regions. So how we're seeing the near regions is the Central Asia and of course the Southeast Asia and the rest of the world. Because the Western world is a bit far, although they are the leading in terms of the innovation, but the Asian world is leading all the time in terms of the implementation, how we're seeing it. So, as an investment-wise, we should always look Mongolia as more like the sandbox. You tested your the products, you tested your value, looks great, looks like it's gonna work, and you should expand to the rest of the world. And when I say the rest of the world, number one is the Central Asia. Region-wise is the Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, that world. And you should expand to the Southeast Asia and competing with the Chinese companies and the Southeast companies.
Got it.
Yes.
No, thank you. Thank you for that. Now, next question is also for all the panelists. I call it $1 million question. So, as an investor, what are the key things that you would assess to evaluate a potential investment? Maybe we could start with you, Shirley.
Yeah, this is indeed $1 million question. When we look at the companies, I think there are many criteria. But looking for AI opportunities, I think the most and far most important thing is people. Is whether you get very great people, and these people we're not talking about the .com world people or not the people from the mobile world. We're talking about AI native people, because they were in day one they were born in the AI world and they know the AI users and what they're thinking, because they're totally different from the internet, the .com sort of products. And with AI native people, you can create AI native products. And with that product, you will find the real product market fit. We often use some examples. People may remember when you first use your iPhone, we have this little game called Tomcat, that can mimic our voice in a funny way. And that was we call it the short-term needs or the needs, the fake needs, we will say. Okay, when you do not want to develop a tomcat in the AI era, which means if you develop some product and you draw some attention, you generate some users or revenues, you're going to think, deeply whether this is a AI tomcat or is it a real, creating real value. I just echo what you said. I think real value is the team is going to think about, and that's we evaluate very deeply. So team, the value created, and lastly, but most important as well, is the ability to raise capital. With money, you can hire good people, you can have several rounds of trial and errors. So therefore, I think, I would re-rank. I think capital is most important, and the second is human capital, and the third is the products, the value. Yeah, that's what I will evaluate.
Okay, thanks. John?
Cool, yeah, I think we have the same kind of answer. Is that it's still the founders, right? If you were to put this question last year, maybe we might have a little mix of the answers where AI has to be super, cutting edge, far beyond the competitors, right? But I think now people realize that to enhance the AI features, application to the hands of the customer, whether B2B, B2C, you need to see how it's get to adoptions, right? How commercialize it, viable business model that really people can use and adopt it, right? And that's come to the quality execution of the founders. Founders, the great founders in AI, they still have to, hire greater AI developers or, machine learning engineers that really understand how to really create the product market fits, community product market fits, right? Get people to use it, right? Some, AI developer last year maybe, these days much better. Lots of them trying to compete each other, right? You compete 99.97% and trying to get to another bips more, but that doesn't matter, right? You should really focus more on how to enhance the product to people so they can use it, and the great founders will always be able to, link these two people, the users and AI developers together. So that's the more important part that I think is last year is a little bit different, but now I think people realize, lots of startups realize. And the other maybe criteria, which include pretty much what you say is about the environments as well. Because we invest globally, when we talk about the AI startups, is that it's always come to the willingness to pay by the markets, right? We talk about corporates, B2C, because these days, not all the Chinese can use the American AI. Not American AI can use the Chinese in any way. So it's kind of has a little bit boundary in between the countries. So we have to see the willingness to pay, the pace of adoptions, how long the user gonna, and the stickiness of the user gonna use the key features of the AI. And also about the fundings as well. Some countries like Southeast Asia, for example, they're not fully understand, the VC, they not fully understand the funding cycle of the AI. The thing that is hype, but if you were to be here or in the US, right, many funds set up the capital for AI investment, and also the stock market is coming back as well, especially here in China too, right? It means that at the end of the day, you have market to exit, right? And it's going to be recycling capital to come back to take risks in AI price as well. So I think that also the very important part for us to really consider to invest in particular market of AI startup too. Yeah.
Great, thanks. Gabit, how about you?
That's fantastic, actually, question. And I should be devil in the room, right? So how we're seeing is, in terms of the investment-wise, we are actually not seeing as the capital is number one. Number one is, again, people and their resilience, right? So our company established about 20 years ago, and at that time nobody had the capital, but we had us, meaning the people. So people number one, meaning if you focus not on the value but the capital, is again the game changes all the time, and today's world is efficiency, AI, and the values. And the team has to come together in a place where they no matter what, should achieve whatever goal that they're seeing is valuable. And that's the most important, I think. And with the AI tools, they should multiply themselves, not as a one person, but maybe 3 or 4 people. And if you know the values well, that people can multiply the value at the same pace. So that's how we're seeing it, and that's the how we should follow, I think.
Got it. No, thank you so much for that. Now, we're out of time now, but I want to ask one last question to all the panelists here. If there's one thing you would want AI to do for you, what would that be? Let's start with you, Shirley.
Tell me what stock will increase tomorrow. No, I was
John?
joking.
Yeah, for me it's like scientific breakthrough. Yeah,
I see.
yeah, help us with the lab works and help those scientists or physicists to like break through lots of things. Yeah.
Got it, got it. Gabit.
How to make my kids good people.
That is great. Now, for me, the answer would be fundraising. Thank you so much for participation today.
Thank you.